Visual aids are one of those things that everybody struggles with. When I tell you there's going to be a corporate presentation, what do you think of? PowerPoint. I can see everybody mumbling PowerPoint. I think of PowerPoint, I think of boring, and I think of lots of words on a slide. And it doesn't have to be that way. A great book I recommend called Presentation Zen. The author, Gar Reynolds, says, documents are documents, slides are slides, and any attempt to try to combine the two are called sliduments. We don't want that. Our audiences don't want that. Now, I want to get away from PowerPoint for a minute, and I want you to think about anything else that you could use as a visual aid. So, no text on the slide. What else could you use? Let me hear some things that you might do as a visual aid. A whiteboard. Turn around, get the PowerPoint off, turn around and write up on a whiteboard. How might that be more memorable with an audience? And I know everyone in this room, you've got different types of situations that you present. Sometimes it's one-on-one. Have you ever had somebody one-on-one open up a laptop and flip through slides? That's awkward. Maybe in a group of three, I go up on the whiteboard and I write down a few things. That might be more memorable than me opening up my laptop, because the minute I see that, I'm like, what else? Whiteboards. Props, like what? In your business, props are different in all kinds of different businesses. What do you use? Vegetables. Now, I've not ever done that in my business. What is your business? Nutrition. So bringing a prop, bringing some vegetables that are going to be more memorable than putting a picture of a carrot on a slide. I heard you say handouts. This is a great way for people to have something that they can take away without feeling like I have to read what you're saying up on the slides. Anything else that you can think of? A poster of some sort that I might have hanging on a wall. Maybe even roll them up, let somebody take them with them. Hang them up in their office when they get home. Anything else you can think of for a prop? Flip chart. Videos that we might be able to bring in. Other things besides text on a slide. I want you to know, we like PowerPoint. We recommend that people use visual aids because it makes your presentations more memorable. Let me ask you a question. Who is this guy? Waldo. You guys know Waldo, right? You know the game. Find Waldo. How many times is it that we go into a presentation and we play Find Waldo with our audience? I'm going to put everything I'm going to say up on a slide, and you're going to try to figure out what my main point is. Now, what's the main point of the game? Find Waldo. Where's Waldo? What is your main point when you're presenting a slide? Why not focus on that main point and not try to have your audience guess what your main point is, and at the end, walk away with something that might not be what you wanted them to walk away with? So let's talk about how we design slides. What I don't want you to do is put a lot of text on a slide. And here's the number one excuse we get. People say, but Russ, Kevin, when I'm putting my slides together, everybody's going to take these away. They're handouts for later. I want them to have all the information that I'm going to be sharing with my audience, and so I've got to put it all up on the slides because they're going to go back and reference it. What I would tell you is have something for them to take away, but have something different that you're going to present. Now, what are you going to do when you see a slide like this up on the screen? What have a lot of you been doing since the slide came up? Yeah, I hear it. You're reading the slide. I want you to think about different ways to present information. What's the main point of a slide? Well, I want you to understand, in this particular situation, the different amounts of caffeine in different drinks. Wouldn't it be better to have a chart and a graph that people could relate to that would make the point? Let's not just throw text up. Let's look for opportunities to get out of the traditional sense of using our PowerPoints and maybe the traditional sense of just using slides. So if I'm going to present a lot of information, I want to walk you through some options. What I don't want to say is, here's the better way. Here's the wrong way, here's the better way. There are times that you might use a slide that has a lot of text on it, that might have bullets on it. What would be one change you would make to this slide? Immediately you would say, all right, you got to do what? Yeah, let's get rid of some of that text. There's too much text on the screen. The minute you start reading to your audience, how do you feel when you get read to? When's the last time you've been read to? I've read to my daughter, I've read to my son, but it's been a few years since we've been read to. We don't like to be read to. It feels like you're repeating the information to your audience when you're reading. So what would you tell them to do? Let's simplify it. Let's get to the bullets. Now, what if your number one question is, but now I don't know what I'm going to say? What do you think I would tell you to do? Be better prepared. Have some note cards. Know your stuff. Maybe have some notes that will help guide you through the conversation. But what happens if I forget something? Your audience doesn't know what your audience doesn't know. You wouldn't know if I missed a point as long as I hit these 4 main bullet points with you. But let's look at some different ways. If you enhance your visuals with a picture, you're going to make your text more memorable. Putting bullets on a slide, very forgettable. Adding a visual starts to make it more memorable. Now again, I'm not saying this is better, it's different. Look for different options. What if we went in a completely different direction though? What if the entire visual was a technique that we teach called stacking? That might be what Russ and I call the money slide. If you've ever had a presentation where somebody walked up and actually took a picture of your slide with their phone, that's your money slide. What does that mean? From your audience's perspective, when you take a picture and it's that important, what does it mean to you? I want to remember that. That was good. That's your money slide. If you've got a way to deliver that people are going to remember, that they want to reference back, you have created a money slide. I want you to think about how your slide might look more memorable for your audience. And so this is a stacking technique. But what if we went in a completely different direction and we went all visual? What if I talk about customer experience and I say the center of our entire organization revolves around our customer. And our customer wants to know they can interact with us on the phone. Our customer knows that they've got free delivery when they purchase from us. Our customer knows they're interacting with an award-winning service. Our customer knows that we are available on the web if they have to interact with us, if they want to look up some of our products and services. What freedom do I have when I use an all-visual representation when I present? I want you to think about options. Sometimes we get stuck in certain ruts. When we interact with our slides, what we don't want to do is what? What do you think you don't want from your speaker? Hint. I don't want you talking to the slide. Don't turn your back to the audience. Keep your eyes, your belly button, and your toes facing outwards towards your audience. Let that be the focus of your presentation. When you interact with the slides, you also don't have to leave the slide up at all times. At times, you can turn it off. What happens when the slide goes off? All the attention came back to me. Are there times during a presentation when you want all the focus on you? Are there times in a presentation when the slides become nothing more than a distraction? Turn them off. How do you do that? What's the magic key? Now, I have a clicker in my pocket. That's my prop. That I use to go through my slides, but I also use it to turn on and off my slides. You can use a clicker, or you can use the magic key on your keyboard. Anybody know what it is? The B key. B blacks out your screen. It's a toggle switch that turns it on and off. It works in Keynote and it works in PowerPoint, so that at any point you can pull all the focus back on you. Visual aids do make your presentations more memorable. I want you to think outside the box, not text on a slide. Think about a prop. Think about a whiteboard. Think about a flip chart. Think about a handout. Think about something different that might just make your presentation more memorable instead of what a lot of presentations are, which are forgettable. Thank you.